In the Microsoft Enterprise Agreement, there are two types of enrollments. You don't buy licenses through an Enterprise Agreement, you buy licenses through one of those enrollments. And one of those enrollments is Server and Cloud Enrollment. Server and Cloud Enrollment is an enrollment in the Microsoft Enterprise Agreement in which you commit to buy server licenses in exchange for discounts, in exchange for the perks of that enrollment and perks of an Enterprise Agreement. You may commit to three types of products, or all of them. So first one is server operating systems, and you buy that as Core Infrastructure Server Suite. Core Infrastructure Suite is a bundle which consists of Windows Server and System Center. And you get it heavily discounted through the Server and Cloud Enrollment. It could be database, SQL Server, or you can also standardize, move everybody, every single developer, to the most recent Visual Studio. You sign this Server and Cloud Enrollment, you promise to Microsoft, we're going to buy all the server operating system for every single bit. You can't just exclude one or two servers or one or two farms. Every single box, every single thing that you already have or you buy during the term must be licensed through that enrollment. How do you lose money? If you buy a license not through the enrollment, and it's so common, it's not even funny. Organization would sign an enterprise agreement with this type of an enrollment and commit to license everything with Core Infrastructure Suite. But because they have no controls around purchases, they have project teams, they have independent subsidiaries or something like it. Police precinct somewhere in a large police organization, there's a statewide agreement, and some of the government entities of the state, they have their own IT budgets. If they are not aware that there's such a commitment, they just buy Windows Server operating system during the term of that statewide or organization-wide enterprise agreement. And that money is basically sent down the drain. It's a very strange situation. You buy a license, it's an absolutely legitimate license. You are licensed to use it, but not during the term of the enterprise agreement enrollment, because the enterprise agreement enrollment, the Server and Cloud enrollment, overrides everything. Microsoft has no controls to stop you from buying wrong licenses. It's not because they're bad, because they just don't have these controls. If you place an order through a reseller that has no idea that you have this Server and Cloud enrollment, they have no means to check if you have it, they could ask. But would they? There are almost no controls. Lots of ways to make that mistake. Probably the worst case I've seen was about $250,000 wasted. They should have bought it through the SCE. They should have known that there's an SCE. They deployed a new farm and they just went to another reseller and bought it through a different licensing program. Licenses are fine, but you may not use them until that SCE expires. 3 years pass and then you decide, do you want to still be in the SCE? You don't have to. There's no obligation. Microsoft are not Oracle. They don't pull you back into the enterprise agreement enrollments. If you want to exit, exit. If you want to choose a different licensing program, by all means, there's a commercial relationship that can evolve. But some organizations then renew it. And basically that money that was spent on that software is almost wasted. Can you do anything about it? Potentially. You need to see what you could do with license transfers. If you are in the European Union, you can review a possibility of selling your second-hand licenses. But otherwise, my advice here will be you can't really optimize it anyhow. Things like that must be avoided by changing the entire organization's culture of how you purchase software. Do not give ordering powers to project teams. Do not give purchasing powers, even below a certain threshold, to individuals, to departments. Purchasing powers must be centralized. They must be in one center that controls all the purchases. At least, if you give teams power to buy something, make it indirect. When they place an order, at least there's a final sign-off from a central team that knows how to avoid mistakes. If somebody places an order for Windows Server or System Center and there's a commitment in an SCE for the Core Infrastructure Service Suite, that purchase must be stopped, reviewed, and if they indeed require new licenses, this must go through the enterprise agreement route. There's no harm in that. You'll be saving. And there's a chance you may already have the licenses that you bought through the SCE, but you haven't deployed them yet. Lots of benefits of centralization. Let them buy hardware, whatever else they want, but every software purchase, even if it goes from their budget, must be checked through a central point.